In the top stories, local Muslims distance themselves from ISIS, NAS moving to clear claims backlog, and the hockey turf is finally out of the port. Welcome to the Nation News for Thursday, November 19, 2015. I'm Alex Donks.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News, your time, your way.
The local Muslim community is making it clear that it has no association with extremist group ISIS. President of the Barbados Muslim Association, Dr. Abdul Mohammed, told Nation News the work of ISIS goes against the grain of Islamic principles. His comments come on the heels of the ISIS-facilitated terrorist attacks in Paris, where 129 people were killed and more than 300 injured. Mr. Mohammed expressed his disappointment that the religion continues to be stigmatized because of such actions.
When you study what they do, or most of what they do, or most of all what they do, besides nothing Islamic what they do. I mean, even in the extreme circles of war, for example, Islam has rules and guidelines like not killing children, not killing innocent, not killing prisoners, not harming prisoners, not only to challenge combatants, buildings and structures will be destroyed. All those things are very clearly spelled out in Islam. So, from the list I just gave you, it's clear to you that from what you've been hearing, everything is violated. Even actually one of the key things of misconceptions is that even in Islam, it tells you clearly that even in war, you should not force a person into Islam. There's no compulsion in religion. So when you hear what's happening in terms of giving ultimatum in terms of either asking Islam or be killed or how to treat prisoners or destroying buildings and structures and all that, it just diametrically opposes what Islam teaches.
Dr. Mohammed was speaking on Thursday after the association donated $27,000 in equipment to the Accident and Emergency Department of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. About 24 temporary workers are being hired to clear the backlog of claims at the National Insurance Department. News of this comes from Minister of Labour, Senator Dr. Esther Bayer, who said about 13,000 claims are outstanding. She told Nation News the hiring of additional personnel was just one of the measures being put in place. This news comes following a report of the NAS board that had called for extraordinary measures to clear the backlog. Leader of the Senate, Maxine McLean, has described the terms and conditions of the loan which will fund the redevelopment of Sandars Castle as groundbreaking. The resolution to seek $240 million from the Export-Import Bank of China was debated in the Senate on Thursday, 2 days after it received approval from the House of Assembly. The loan has a 5-year moratorium and will attract an annual interest rate of 2.5%, with the principal to be repaid in 31 payments over 180 months. The castle is expected to reopen in 2018 as a 5-star Wyndham resort. Representatives from local financial institutions have been getting some insight into how mobile technology can be used for various transactions. Director of the Center of Excellence for IT-Enabled Innovation at UWI, Dr. Maurice McNaughton, conducted a seminar on the subject at the 3Ws Oval on Thursday.
So it doesn't matter which bank I'm a part of, I can go to any ATM that's part of that network. It has to be the same thing with mobile payments, and we don't have to, we can't afford the cost of experimenting with everyone doing their own thing with no sense of direction until we decide that it makes sense to put in an interoperable mobile payment system, so that if I have a mobile phone and I'm on one provider and you're on another provider and I need to send you some money to pay for a service, then I can do that, right? So I think that's quite important.
He said mobile financial services has been embraced on a limited scale in places like Jamaica, Mexico, Brazil, Haiti, and Kenya, but the requisite legislation would have to be in place to allow other countries to get on board. Several men took advantage of the opportunity to get free health checks on Thursday. The Ministry of Health and the Bureau of Gender Affairs came together to offer a range of tests at the Eunice Gibson Polyclinic. Staff nurse Mutual Archer urged men to get over the fear of being tested. Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave is continuing his visits to primary schools across Barbados. He visited Roland Edwards Primary earlier this week and appealed to students to stay away from drugs and gangs. Sir Elliot also encouraged them to apply themselves in learning. Now in sport, the new hockey turf is finally out of the port and at the Wildy venue where it belongs. Several bags containing sections of the artificial surface have been dropped off at the Barbados Hockey Federation's home. The turf was held up in the Bridgetown port for nearly 3 months while the National Sports Council awaited funds to pay the duties. Hockey players have been without a turf for 5 years. And finally, a Denver, Colorado store called Isis Books and Gifts wants the world to know its name comes from the Egyptian goddess of healing and motherhood and isn't run by terrorists. Co-owner Jeff Harrison says the shop has been vandalized 5 times in the past year or so, probably by persons who mistake the name for the acronym of the Islamic State terrorist group. The latest act of vandalism came last weekend when a store sign was smashed after the terrorist attacks in Paris. The store sells books and gifts related to spirituality, religion, and healing. And that's it for the Nation News for Thursday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Weekend Nation on Friday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thank you so much for joining us.